Society is a joke. The whole system, government, religion, the economy, large corporations, small businesses, your neighborhood HOA, health insurance, social media, mass media, factory farming, office politics, Super Bowl parties, rush hour traffic. It's all a joke. The things people do for fun, the things people talk about, the things people expect you to do for them, it's a joke. And the biggest joke of all, I'm a part of it. Because I have to be. We all have to be. If you don't participate in the system, you either end up homeless or in prison or worse. And I mean, honestly, I barely am participating in society at this point, but I am. I'm part of the system. So I'm not trying to say I'm above it all or I'm better than everyone else, because I know that's not true. If anything, I'm worse than everyone else, because no matter how hard I try, I just can't fit in. And I don't just mean like I can't fit in socially. I mean like I just can't fit in as in like I just can't understand all the unspoken rules you have to follow in order to contribute to this society. And forget about the unspoken rules. It's all the explicit rules too, like just trying to file your taxes and things like that, or just trying to navigate any kind of bureaucracy, really. It's needlessly complex. And I mean, ostensibly, the whole point of a bureaucracy is to streamline things and make things more efficient, but anyone that's ever worked any kind of job can tell you there's nothing efficient about any of it. I mean, it's probably more efficient for the CEOs and the CTOs and the COOs and I'm not even going to say what I was going to say, but for most of us, it all just amounts to extra work we have to do in order to do the actual work we're actually supposed to be doing. But whatever, that's not really what I want to be talking about today. So back to the topic at hand. Society. Man, it's a bunch of BS. I mean, for most people, it's probably all good, and that's how most people see it anyway, whether it's actually good for them or not. But I guess it makes sense that society only works for certain people while other people just get the short end of the stick, because the whole thing that society is, I mean, it's just the systems and the norms and the values that the people of the world or the people of a certain area have collectively agreed upon. And obviously, that's not going to be optimal for every single person living in that society, because there's no way it could be. People are different. I mean, I guess most people are similar enough to each other that they can kind of agree on some key values, but for the few of us that aren't normies, this society just rejects us. It shuns us. And actually, when I think about it, I don't even think most people even agree with most of the norms and systems we have in place. It's more like most people just go along with it because what other choice do you have? And obviously, there does have to be some kind of society. I mean, conceptually, society is a good thing, or I mean, it should be a good thing. Like all these systems we have in place, I guess it is better than the alternative, which would be total anarchy. Well, that's debatable, but yeah, I do understand on some level why society is what it is. But this society we're living in today, I can't really speak on how things are in other parts of the world, but the society I live in, the United States of America, I don't know. I mean, is this really the best we can do? Maybe it is. I honestly don't know. But it's so lopsided. The way things are structured now, there's a few people at the top that, they're doing great. The top 10% are doing pretty damn fine, I'm sure. They got money. They got meaningful relationships. And the main thing they have that's so unfair to the rest of us, they have ample time for leisure. Because just because someone has lots of money doesn't necessarily mean the system is working for them. I mean, if you're making $250,000 a year, but you're working a job you hate for 80 hours a week, is that really a good life? I don't think so. The only people this society is truly working for are the people who were born into wealth. Just imagine being the son of Bill Gates or someone like that. You would never have to work a day in your life. And you could argue that it might be more difficult to find purpose in your life if you're just born into wealth like that, because that's something I see people saying all the time. But I mean, come on. Come on. That's cope. That's pure cope. Next time you're at 7-Eleven or Burger King, or I don't know, you're getting an oil change or whatever, ask the workers there if they feel like they have time to find their purpose in life. Ask them if they feel fulfilled, if they feel self-actualized, however you want to say it. These people don't even have time to think about that kind of thing because they're too busy working their butts off trying to survive. And most of them, most low-level hourly wage employees, honestly, they'd probably just be better off dropping out of the system altogether and living the neat lifestyle. But I know not everyone can do that. I mean, most people can't do that. And I don't mean to be making a big criticism of capitalism here, because I'm not convinced any other system would actually be any better. I know lots of people want to sing the praises of socialism, but I don't know about that. Maybe it is better, but, I'm saying I really don't know. But I kind of doubt it's any better, because at the end of the day, society is what it is because of the people that made it. So even under a system like socialism, even if there was just total economic parity, like everybody literally has the exact same income and the exact same level of wealth, I think people will just find other ways to enforce inequality. People are still going to be people no matter what economic system they're living under. And it's not like a different economic system would even do anything to change the dating economy. Because even under socialism, you're still going to have Chads, and you're still going to have Stacys, and you're still going to have Beckys living it up, just living their lives, enjoying each other's company, and having relations, and all that. And you're still going to have the sub-5 neurodivergent pathetic losers like me that just do not fit in, and we're still not going to be able to find love, and we're still not going to be able to form meaningful relationships. And even economically, not everyone can work the same kind of job. And for society to function, you do need different people doing different jobs. So maybe the new inequality would start to be, all about just who gets to sit in a nice air-conditioned office versus who has to work out in the hot sun digging ditches. Because, yeah, it sounds nice to think society could be structured in a way that everyone has equal access to resources, but how are you going to do that with human resources? And I don't mean like human resources like your company's HR department, but literally like humans as a resource. Because genetics are not equal. Something like 99% of women want to be with the same top 20% of men, and I'm talking about genetics here. Essentially, all women want the same few men, and they want them for genetic reasons. Whether that be their looks or their personality or a combination of both. All of that is mostly genetic. So unless you have a system where millions of women are forced to be with men they don't want to be with, then I don't know what the hell socialism is even supposed to accomplish. It's kind of funny. You never see socialists on the internet talking about dating inequality. I wonder why that is. Probably because most of them are normies and their little normie brains just can't even think about things that deeply. But really what it is it's just that these people don't actually want real change in society in the first place. They want more money for themselves. And I don't mean to be targeting socialists with this, because I honestly don't know, and frankly I don't care what the best economic system is, because that's not the biggest driving force behind all of the problems in society. I think most political movements, most social movements, most any kind of movement, they're all just full of hypocrites, because the vast majority of these people are just trying to improve their own position in life, and it's just, what everyone wants, it's biological. Everybody wants the most attractive partner. Women want the most high status, most attractive man, and men, even myself, because I'm not trying to act like I'm better than everyone else, we all want Stacy. No man wants to be paired up for eternity with Gorgoroth, destroyer of worlds. And even though, sure, a lot of men would be willing to settle just because, that's their only option, but that's not what we want. Hell no. We all want an adorable little cutie pie with a stacked rack and a pleasant disposition. But that's just not possible for the vast majority of us. Because we all know there's just a few guys at the top getting all the Stacys, and the Stacys, they don't mind sharing their Chad with a few other Stacys as long as it means she doesn't have to deal with the sub-5 losers of society like me. And I mean, maybe things would be better for the sub-5s of society if there were more actually attractive women to go around, but that's just another horrible aspect of our society. Everybody's fat and everybody's ugly, and I don't just mean that physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Everybody's ugly. And I don't know where to point the finger, probably at large corporations, but whoever's fault it is, everyone in this society is suffering from brain rot to the level that nobody wants to do anything difficult. Everyone just wants instant gratification. And that's how we end up with a society where something like 60% of people are overweight or obese, and nobody knows how to think for themselves. And I know the cliche is that social media is to blame, and I'm sure that contributes to it, but I think that's probably just a symptom. Because it's all the people that make up this society that are the ones voluntarily using these brain rot apps. So, I mean, it's just what the people want. This fucked up society, most people are okay with it. They collectively made it like this together because this is actually how the people want to live, whether they admit it or not. And again, I'm not saying I'm better than anyone else. I'm literally contributing another piece of slop to the brain rot bucket right now at this very moment. This is a part of it. This video right here that you are listening to right now, this is a part of the problem. You could be doing something productive right now, but you're not, because for some reason you'd rather listen to me, the biggest loser in the world, rant about society for 15 minutes or whatever it is. I don't know. And I know this video has been all over the place, even more so than usual, but I'm just really going through it today. It's been another shitty day in my miserable existence. My mom was getting on my case about not looking for a job, and this was the first time she's done that in a while. And I had actually thought that she had just given up on me ever getting a job, but I guess not. So, yeah, that's nice. And I don't know if it's just my parents or if most boomers are like this, but you'd think they'd have at least a little bit of sympathy for me, seeing as how, I pretty much came into adulthood around the time of the Great Recession, so you'd think maybe they'd understand at least a little bit why I'm like this, why I choose to not participate in this farce of a society. But they don't. They don't get it, and they have no sympathy whatsoever. Or if they do have sympathy, they never show it. So, I don't know. But it's not even like I never tried. I've talked about my career maxing journey on here a lot, and I've talked about how none of it was ever worth it to me, so I'm not going to rehash it all here, but I did put in the work, and I got nothing in return. I mean, I got paid, but what good is money when you got no one to share it with? Whatever. That's about all I got to say about it. I really don't care at this point. I really don't.